Jordan and Joshua, I've been thinking about making these videos for a long time. Probably longer than you guys realize. And now that you're both grown men, 30 and 25, living your own lives and becoming your own men, I think it's finally time for me to tell you the truth about me. No, not the polished version, not the dad version, not the successful version, not the version that people think they know from pictures or business or social media or church clothes or handshakes or smiles. I mean the real truth. The truth about where I came from, what shaped me, what broke me, what built me, and quite frankly, what almost destroyed me. And what helped me survive long enough to become you guys' dad. Because one day when I'm no longer here physically, I don't want you left with fragments. I don't want you trying to piece together through photographs and old stories. I want you to hear my voice. I want you to know me. And maybe through hearing my story, you'll understand yourselves a little better too. You know, whoever else is listening in on this conversation, good. Because maybe you were supposed to hear it too. Because this isn't really a channel about success. It's about memory. It's about identity. It's about what happens to a human being after the world teaches them to forget who they are. That's why this book is called I Remember Me. Not remember, R-E-M-E-M-B-E-R, but remember, R-E-member. Because life has a way of dismembering us, pulling us apart piece by piece, by fear, by shame, by survival, by expectations, by poverty, by ego, by race, by religion, by trauma, by success, and even by love sometimes. And guys, listen, before you know it, you're living a version of yourself that was designed for acceptance instead of truth. And that happened to me too. But before all of that, before the business, before marriage, before fatherhood, before money, before image, there was just a little black boy born in Nashville, Tennessee. And that little black boy had no idea that the world, had no idea what the world really was yet. I had no idea how cruel people could be. No idea how powerful belief could become. No idea how much environment shapes identity. But he had also something else. That little boy had imagination. And imagination, when it's protected correctly, is one of the most dangerous powers on earth. You see, Jordan and Josh, I need you to understand something early in this journey. Most people never become themselves. They become what the world rewards. And if you're not careful, you can spend an entire life becoming applauded for becoming a stranger to your own soul. I've done that before. There were seasons of my life where people thought I was winning. And internally, I was disconnected from myself. Still functioning, still producing, still smiling, but disconnected. And that's why I'm making these videos. Not because I think I have all the answers. I don't. But I've lived enough life to recognize patterns. I've watched what fear does to men. I've watched what insecurity does to marriages. I've watched how money changes people. I've watched people worship titles while secretly hating themselves. I've watched successful people become spiritually empty. And I've watched brilliant people die never expressing who they really were. And I promised myself, if I ever got the chance, I would speak honestly, especially to my sons. You two grew up seeing pieces of me. You saw Dad, but you didn't always see Kyle. You didn't always see the internal battles, the pressure, the confusion, the ambitions, the fears, the mask men wear because they think they have to. You see, men from my generation, we weren't really taught emotional honesty. We were taught performance. We were taught to provide, protect, endure, suppress, keep moving. But suppression has a cost. And eventually, if a man suppresses himself long enough, he forgets who he is under the armor. And that's why this journey matters, guys. This isn't therapy for me. This is liberation. And maybe, just maybe, it becomes liberation for somebody else too, who might be listening. Maybe some man sitting in his car right now, successful on paper, but man, you're spiritually exhausted. You finally hear somebody who says what they've been afraid to admit. Maybe somebody realizes they're allowed to start over. Maybe somebody realizes that they don't have to keep pretending. Maybe somebody remembers themselves. That's the mission. Not the followers, not the algorithms, not virility. Truth. Raw truth. And if only a few people understand it deeply, that's cool. That's enough. Because I didn't build this for the crowd. I built this for alignment. So boys, this is where it begins. Not at success, not at money, not at accomplishment, but at birth, at memory, at the beginning of the story. The story before the world told me who I was supposed to be. And over these next few episodes, I'm going to tell you everything. The victories, the shame, the mistakes, the lessons, the women, the fears, the ambition, the ego, the spirituality, the business, the mask, and the awakening of all of it. Not performance, just truth. Welcome to the journey. This is I Remember Me. Love you.